Last year, I started documenting Hasan for his blatantly false reporting.
I was right about Ukraine. That's right. War is not imminent. Oh, shock.
An Israeli airstrike hit the Al Ahli hospital. We were so right. They added 7,000 new troops. So what's going to end up happening is that by April, this is going to be done.
IDF didn't bomb the hospital. Change title. IDF didn't bomb the hospital. Yes, it did. Yes, it did!
I criticized him for being a propagandist, coming to conclusions on breaking news when the story hadn't even been fully reported on.
You right now is the same thing you always do. I'm just saying,
no,
like this, you're doing it in real time. You're doing it in real time, bro.
Over the course of an 8-hour broadcast, if you look to literally 3 moments,
how come nobody else shut up
find
as much as you, dude, that does 8-hour broadcasts?
Because no one has the most psychopathic fandom like idiots like you who sit through every minutia to find a clippable moment, to find a clippable moment to be like, he sucks, he's bad. That's the reason, dickhead. All right.
He followed this up by interviewing a terrorist eating up propaganda about taking hostages.
He's saying he hasn't spent much time with Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing. So he likes him, yeah.
So what? That's so crazy.
He's saying that they win over the crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny. Okay, that doesn't probably take much.
Yeah, hilarious. The crew is still held captive, and Hasan continues to glorify terrorism by playing their propaganda and passing it off as happy musicals.
What do you mean a music video? They love walking over like the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. They will always like march on it.
When you said music video, I'm expecting like, bad example, Chris Brown dancing, you know?
No. They do
they
do musicals. They're very musical people.
Praising their leaders, all while hypocritically defending Russia and China's invasion of their neighbors.
You call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River. Bite the bullet on the Tim Houthi kid? Why? Why would I ever? If I did something that was f***ed up, by my estimations, I would of course apologize for it. I have time and time again.
Name one time. He can't because he's never owned up to anything. Hasan continues to be the worst political streamer, and Twitch supports him.
Yeah, where is that chatter? He was like, come to Israel. It's so beautiful here. I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in by some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks.
No, it's not illegal, it's not criminal, but it feels like it should be. Sort of like those monthly subscriptions you signed up for, forgot about, but are still paying every month. I've been paying 2 monthly subscriptions to watch wrestling for the past 2 years, and I didn't even know. I signed up for the free trial, thought I canceled it, and then signed up again with a different email. And I would have no idea I was doing this if it wasn't for Rocket Money, where after giving them a bit of your personal information, they're able to cancel subscriptions on your behalf. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance app that helps you save money and spend less. Recently, I've been using it to budget. Now I'm able to invest, pay bills, and still take the lady out on a nice date every now and then. It was my first step towards actually adulting. Come, take it with me. It's never too late to start. Rocket Money makes it easy, saving customers an average of $740. If you want to save more and spend less, then join the over 5 million people currently using Rocket Money. Then go to rocketmoney.com/WillyMac to start for free. Thank you, Rocket Money, for sponsoring today's video. Hasan's politics really baffles me. He just doesn't seem very consistent. When Russia invaded Ukraine, he constantly justified it by saying Ukraine and its army was full of Nazis. This is the same propaganda Russia pushes. Hasan acted like every citizen in Ukraine was on the verge of fascism.
The reason why a small amount of nationalist forces gaining prominence is additionally terrifying. It's like Tinder, okay? It can cause a wildfire of nationalism because it's already baked in to the attitudes of the commoner, okay? Every person already has like a predisposition towards nationalist tendencies. So the issue is when you start legitimizing the nationalist guys, boom, all of a sudden the country could turn fascist like that, okay?
He justified Russia annexing Ukraine constantly.
Regardless of whether he wants it or not, he needs it as a buffer state. Exactly. Russia's historic access into the Black Sea, Crimea, that's like historically and ethnically all Russian, majority Russian.
They're Nazis. Everyone's going to be radicalized. But when it comes to a fundamentalist group like Hamas that theoretically would run the country, Hasan doesn't seem to have those same worries. He justifies it by using Republicans as stand-ins for Hamas.
I'm saying that the gay people and the trans people that are living under those conditions in Gaza, right, see Israel as a far larger problem in their existence than they do like Islamic fundamentalism in terms of governance. If we were getting ruthlessly slaughtered by an alien force, I wouldn't give a fuck if someone was homophobic or not. I'd be like, thank you for fighting against the alien force. That seems awesome that you're doing that. I would actually arm up side by side with my fellow homophobic Republican, rabid Christian fundamentalist sociopaths to try and protect my home. And that's the point.
That's the same thing as the Azov battalion fighting in Ukraine. How does he have these conflicting opinions? It makes no sense. Asmongold made the horrific decision to call Palestinians' culture inferior. Hasan rightfully called him out for this.
These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways.
It's terrifying. Like saying they're inferior, saying they're evil to justify the death and destruction that befalls them is so horrifying.
Because remember, Hasan would never call another culture inferior. He would never do that.
I don't agree in theocracy at all.
But like, wouldn't that mean that it would be inferior? Or,
no, I wouldn't say that any culture is inferior to one another. All life must be cherished. Their lives are no different, even if they disagree fundamentally with you.
But if we just go back to last year, Hasan was justifying China's invasion of Tibet for the same reason. Their inferior culture. He says China's imperialism is good because they focus on taking over their neighbors.
Chinese development and Chinese military action is either irredentist in nature, which is different than imperialism, where it's more so expansive in its own limited area, rather than global imperialism, which is
China's
done with the express effort with the
Tibet, Taiwan.
Tibet was literally a feudal slave mandate, like
so
autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like that's not far from the norm in normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
so China unilaterally took over Tibet.
Like these are
their culture. They basically are trying to, you know, homogenize the culture.
In the name of squashing an inferior culture, China killed over 87,000 Tibetans. That's 1.2 million, 1 out of every 6 Tibetans since their occupation. I don't understand how you could be pro-Palestine and then support Russia and China. Israel's neighbors with Gaza, does that make what they're doing okay? No, of course not. His politics makes no sense. It's constantly contradicting himself. But then you realize that he's America bad all the time. That's it.
Let me explain to you 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. That's a principle that you could take home with you. If you want to actually be moral, or if you want to be smart about the way you analyze other countries, that's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
That's not what an analysis is. That's doing the same thing Sneeko does. And Hasan's always been this way. He doesn't care about principles or being morally consistent.
Do I think that this could be a dangerous precedent? Absolutely. But the right has been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah, but they've been able to. That's the point.
I know,
the point is they're wrong, and I hate them, and I hate their tactics.
But no one cares about being morally consistent, or no one cares about.
I do. I care about that.
I know
very
you
much.
do, but in the end of the day,
he just wants his side to win at all costs. It's turned him into running straight up terrorist propaganda for the past 10 months.
Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia. I'll be making fucking dough in the pizzeria.
Hasan has been rewriting history when it comes to the Houthi terrorist he did propaganda for. Now he's just some random teenager.
Random fucking Yemeni teenager. The Yemeni kid not connected to the Houthis, and doesn't even matter if he was. Not only does it not matter to me if he was or not, it would obviously change the dynamic of the interview if he was. Most people don't know that he isn't a Houthi or have seen his post about respecting Jews. I don't really care. They will just say, oh, he's doing PR.
These are all provable lies. When Hasan initially interviewed the Houthi, it was framed as him being a terrorist.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean? Excuse me.
Of course I'm about to have a... I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism.
When Hasan asked if he was Houthi, the guy did not answer, instead referring to the Houthis' justification for pirating commercial ships.
I don't know if he is allowed to speak on this. I don't know if he's like actually a part of the groups at all, or just like simply a TikToker. You know what I mean? I don't know how to ask that in the best way possible, though.
Yeah, I feel like we can ask it pretty directly. His answer is he's a Yemeni who stands with Palestine.
Hasan will go on to greenlight the Houthis' mission of attacking civilian commercial ships on behalf of him and his entire chat.
Dude, we think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
The whole point of this interview was to make this Houthi soldier seem relatable. He's just like me and you. One of his viewers would point this out, and Hasan would tell him to shut up.
Maybe explain why you're trying to get this type of humanizing information from. Okay, shut up, chatter. Come on, it's not like that's crazy. What does he have to say to dumbasses that consider him to be a terrorist? What does he think about that? Answer that question. I just banned one of those stupid fuckers in the chat just now.
He says, "Who are they?"
Just fucking dumbasses.
Wow, what an insightful interview. When a viewer offered a real question for Hasan to ask, Hasan ignores it, instead asking about food.
All right. Okay, what else do I want to ask? So, like, I mean, he's ask him if he would stop going on boats if Israel stops the genocide. I mean, yeah, he's gonna say yes, chat. What are you talking about? Those are like dumbass questions. Has he ever had like Western food?
Great question. Hasan has woven an imaginary personality for this guy where he's not a Houthi, he's not anti-Semitic, he's basically just Anne Frank.
First of all, he wasn't Houthi. I asked him. He was like, I'm not.
This never happened in his interview. He's just lying. When the pirate was asked if he was a soldier on Instagram, he replied yes. Now his Instagram was banned, but this was still documented in news articles at the time. And who is the current governing body in Yemen? It's the Houthi. Stop believing in this lie from Hasan.
Many people said, oh, he's hiding it. He's PR trained, which is really funny to say about like some random fucking dude who can't even speak English.
You said that. It was because he wouldn't answer the only 2 serious questions you asked.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's very media trained, surprisingly, but okay.
Now, I used to think Hasan just had 0 critical thinking skills, but the truth is he's doing propaganda.
And I asked him, like, what do you think about Jewish people? What if I were to tell you that like Jewish people are leading the anti-Zionist movement in America? And he was like, that's great. I love them. That's awesome. Anyone who's against Israel is my friend.
Even here, Hasan is completely over-embellishing what was said.
Ask him what he thinks about the fact that in America, some of the like leading groups that are pro-Palestine are led by Jewish people who are anti-Israel. How does he feel about that?
He's saying anyone that supports Palestine, we're with.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's it. That's all he said. The same media-trained answer he's been giving Hasan all night. Hasan goes on and compares him to Anne Frank.
Like he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay, being able to talk to Anne Frank in real time.
Now, I don't remember Anne Frank being part of a militia group that boarded commercial vessels and took captives, shooting missiles at commercial ships that have nothing to do with their stated mission against Israel. But you know, Anne Frank had a diary. This guy had Twitter, so let's read it. Here's him saying you shouldn't be afraid of the Houthi unless you're a Jew. They are very afraid of this title. Here's him insulting his enemies by calling them son of a Jew. He would post pictures on the pirated ship saying ready for sacrifice, longing for martyrdom. Just like Anne Frank, he actually invited Hasan to join the Houthi in operations of Israeli ships. This guy posted an illustration of what he described to be a Zionist impaled on a stake, saying the executions we will carry out on all Zionists. This guy is anti-Semitic. The Houthi flag states death to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews. And Hasan defends him, saying he's not anti-Semitic, he's just anti-Zionist.
He made a post saying he wants to kill all Zionists and posted a picture of a Jewish person being spiked to death. I don't think that's what he... What? Yeah. I don't know. Also, I don't even give a shit. This is why this entire conversation is f***ing idiotic. It's not a Jewish person. He said, this is, I think if we're, why am I held accountable for some random fucking 19-year-old in Yemen's tweets? What is happening? How many steps removed are we from this situation? How is this the conversation that you want to have right now? I fucking despise all of you, dude. I do. I really do. I hate all of you.
You aren't responsible for his tweets, but you're constantly playing defense for this guy's anti-Semitism. I want to take a moment and talk about the word Zionist. All it means is someone who thinks Israel has the right to exist, which is 90% of Jewish people. Now, Hasan rarely gives the definition of Zionist. He uses it like a slur, the equivalent to Nazi.
Fascism is the underpinning ideological movement that
the Zionist ideology represents. Same as the Nazis.
The chatter is like, come to Israel and you could get a fuller perspective. And Hasan dogs them.
Yeah, where is that chatter? He was like, come to Israel. It's so beautiful here. You will see the conflict from my eyes. Yeah. I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in by some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks. You can enter Israel. What's more to say? Brother, I am not going to Nazi Germany, okay? I hope you understand this. And I mean this with all sincerity and with all disrespect.
And then you got Ethan, who's been very critical of Israel, but is constantly being called a Zionist by Hasan's chat. For what other reason than him being Jewish?
Hasan's Discord, and by the way, to the people who are in that Discord, I saw everything you guys said. It was recorded, sent to me. What I saw in that Discord was near universal praise for Hamas, near universal saying people deserved it, near universal people saying dudes who was like, the hang gliders came in and showed him what's up. People saying he's spitting facts. Near universal. People near universally calling me a Zionist pig, mass murdering, genocidal freak.
Hasan indirectly supports this stuff because they're repeating it from him.
You fucking baying pig! You fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dog! Suck my dick, you bad faith, apartheid defending, bloodthirsty, genocidal freak.
It doesn't seem like a coincidence that his mod is wishing PTSD on soldiers in subgoaling 9/11 reenactments.
I will never have any pity for any soldiers. U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
She lives in Michigan, by the way.
And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Base? 6250. 9/11 baking stream with Raf and Capri. If we get to this goal by 9/11, Capri, Raf, and I will make the Twin Towers out of a stacked cake. And we'll make an airplane. And we'll recreate 9/11.
I support it if it's all jokes, but it's coming from their very real political opinions. It's not surprising that it's Hasan's friend group that goes on stage and does an Arab tier list where Hasan's at the top and Ethan's at the bottom. I'll let Ethan explain.
It's a panel hosted by Frogan and 4 of her friends, in which they have a tier list where they rate people where good is Arab and bottom is loves Sabra. Sabra is a very popular hummus brand. I know in Israel, it's pretty much in everybody's refrigerator. They've been the subject of the pro-Palestine boycott. I mean, it's kind of just Arab good, Jew bad.
Hasan.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder where they're gonna put Hasan. I'm gonna guess they're gonna put him in Arab.
Hasan is Turkish, but he's a brother.
Yeah.
You know? So...
Yeah, I think he'd be on Arab coded.
I mean, I would put him in Arab, to be honest.
I would put him also in Arab.
Which is great. That's the good one. That's the one you want.
Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one.
That's Jewish.
Dude, where's the? You guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke.
Yeah, the Zionist tier for Ethan because he's a Zionist and that's bad. Wink, wink. 90% of Jews, by the way.
We're very proud of you, Denims, for bringing anti-Semitism right on stage, and you guys are killing it.
Hasan read about this situation on stream and left, fully supporting the streamers.
Many interpret the ranking as one from Arab to Jew. One panelist added, I'll just say it, there should be an even lower category called Zionist, which was met with applause from the audience.
People have downloaded and documented Hasan's chat, and is constantly calling people like Ethan Zionist dogs, soulless scum. They hate anyone who thinks Israel should exist. So if 90% of Jews are Zionist, and you and your community hate Zionist, it comes off as using the same coded language as the Nick Fuentes crowd.
Need to do is all this movement that's around, Jews, do this. This needs to stop. This really needs to stop, and we need to focus on Zionism, Israel, Israelis. Start calling them Zionist. Start calling it Israel. Stop using the name Jews, because this is what gets you demonetized. As for Nick Fuentes, replace that word Jew with Zionist. I don't think you'll have that many issues.
When presented with that fact, Hasan calls everyone a Nazi.
That's why people don't understand. Like, there's no difference between what fucking Nazis say when they say, oh, 95% of Jews love Zionism. 95% of Jews are Zionists. Nazis say that. You know who else says that? Dumb fucking Zionists who think that that is a way to defend Zionism.
In response to this criticism, Hasan just starts pointing to every anti-Zionist Jew he knows, as if that somehow changes the facts. I'm actually friends with the Jewish guy, and he's anti-Zionist, so I gotta pass.
All of my friends that I've made through, obviously, my political acts and also my career in online media or media in general are some of the most aggro anti-Zionists you've ever met.
You won't be able to say you hate 90% of an ethnic group and not get banned on most of these websites. I'm genuinely asking, at what point is it just a dog whistle? So is Hasan anti-Semitic? I don't know, but every action he takes comes off that way. When people bring up the rapes on October 7th, he scoffs, sometimes outright denying that they even happened.
What rapes did Hezbollah do? Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about?
Hamas has committed horrific acts of sexual violence and took
women and girls, men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel had a right.
What message does he think he's sending? There's a reason Myron's trying to relate to him on Twitter. It's not an accident his entire chat thinks this was based and cool.
For the children! For the children!
Too based, let's go. Haha, rip bozo. We must continue to protest. Hasan may feel like he's made this clear distinction between Zionists and Jews, but his chat clearly isn't picking up on it, his friends aren't either, and he clearly doesn't care enough to correct them. And that brings us back to the Houthi. Let's be real, guys, if we can't call a Houthi terrorist whose motto is to destroy the only Jewish state and put a curse upon the people, promising to put him on spikes, if we can't even call him anti-Semitic, then the word is meaningless. Nobody fits its definition. In the past, I talked about how Hasan radicalized his audience. I even confronted him about it. You should check it out. But lately, he's been trying to radicalize other Twitch streamers. I don't think people realize how insane this is. Hasan starts off by saying propaganda is bad and that most people don't realize Israel's doing it.
Most people still operate on the boundaries of like, oh no, Israel's the Jewish state. Of course, they're doing this for the Jews and all Jews actually care about Israel, yada, yada, yada. That's not the case, but that's how propaganda works. So for that reason, I'm just letting you know, they will call you anti-Semitic. You shouldn't say a lot of the things I'm saying.
Keep in mind.
Nick's like, I'm my own man. I could determine that for myself.
I don't really give a fuck of what people say about me in general because I just don't care.
Hasan then puts on terrorist propaganda.
Do you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way, just so you know. These fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I need the money, guys.
I'm going to grab my food.
Yeah. Look at Nick's face.
So confused. What is this? Did you leave me alone in the room with like a propaganda video playing?
Yes, some of these people look like teenagers, child soldiers. Hasan comes back and Nick asks, what are you showing me? Hasan then tries to indoctrinate him.
Can you explain this? This is a 3-minute video of, what do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like, bad example, Chris Brown dancing, you know?
No. They do like,
what is
they do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shoot. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
No, it is. They do musicals about like their actions all the time.
Yeah, they're militarized actions. Hasan paused on his screen with an entire crowd holding signs saying "Death to America, Death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews."
And they love walking over. They love walking over like the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. They will always like march on it. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
That's Hasan's favorite part. Hasan then pulls up a trade map and justifies the Houthis shooting commercial vessels, many of which are not related to Israel.
What they immediately start doing is they start saying, "Oh, Israel, you're gonna blow up Palestinians. Well, guess what? We're gonna blow you up."
He thinks they're cool.
I thought all they did was basically
you know, walk around with like blades in their fucking belts and look cool.
I mean, I want to ask him about the knife. The knives are sick.
He says if one of those knives comes out in front of you, it's not going back until it has blood on it.
Oh shit. Okay, my bad. Well, I mean, I think it's cool though.
And make musicals. They make a lot of musicals. I can show you some of them in a second.
Oh, okay.
Well, it turns out they do more than that. They go, listen, you want to fucking bring a ship through here? We're going to take it. So that's exactly what the Houthis start doing. They start fucking sending in helicopters onto fucking ships and taking over the ships
Like
and
Rust.
going, it's our ship. Yes, exactly like Rust. Fucking, look at this. They got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter with the Yemen flag. They fucking overtake. They start overtaking the ship.
This ship is called the Galaxy Leader. It was departing from Turkey and going to India. The crew is not Israeli. It was not going to Israel. Hasan is hyped about innocent civilians being held captive.
This is like a hostile. They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence, right? So like their goal is to film it and show it to the world. So like other companies literally are like, okay, we're not going to use the trade route anymore. All of a sudden, if you don't use the trade route, trade gets more expensive for the West. All of a sudden, if you can't use that trade route, the Israeli port is going to get bankrupt. Israel is not going to be able to get the materials in time that they need for waging their war. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
He thinks Israeli society is going to collapse and everyone's going to leave the country en masse because their Amazon package is more expensive. How does anyone take this guy's political analysis seriously?
They take it over. They take it over. And they tell the people in the ship, usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews.
Oh.
And they're like, all right, well, you know, we got no problems with you, you know, but you're coming with us. We're taking over the ship. So they did that.
And these people are still held hostage to this day. In another stream, Hasan would mourn the leadership of Hezbollah getting killed.
Hasan Nasrallah was assassinated.
Wait, what'd you say?
Hasan Nasrallah.
Who's that?
He's the leader of Hezbollah, the general secretary of Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. But everybody hates them. Like everybody in the region, a lot of people don't like them. Like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
He romanticizes the guy. His chat thinks Hezbollah is based.
Can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen, a lot of these dudes, you see them in their fucking fits and you hear about like some of their attitudes about like gay people, for example, and you immediately resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that these motherfuckers are better read than you by a million.
Hezbollah as a whole has a complicated history. My problem with Hasan is that there's no nuance. He's constantly glorifying them. You must be a racist if you don't like the leader of Hezbollah.
Like it's not a broken clock situation. No, dude. Half of these dudes literally get educated in America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys talking about? This is why it's Orientalist. To literally look at these dudes and go, oh no, they're fucking barbaric baboons. And like sometimes they get this shit right. No, dude, he knows. It's crazy. He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
I can't even imagine the books. He's like 5 Barnes and Nobles. Hasan isn't educating people on other opinions, he's radicalizing them. When asked by a viewer if Hasan would denounce terrorism just to get people off of his back, Hasan couldn't do it.
Just denounce terrorists? I do. Your voice speaks loud. Do with that what you will. I denounce terrorists every day. I denounce the terror state of Israel every day. I denounce America's actions that are state-sponsored terror every day.
So how have we gotten to this point? How has Hasan been allowed to do this unpunished? Well, it's because Twitch supports him. Sneeko, Fresh and Fit, as well as the Houthi terrorist were all unbanned on Twitch. None of this makes any sense because these guys promote that Hitler was right. Meanwhile, it was discovered that Twitch blocked everyone in Israel-Palestine from creating accounts on desktop since October 13th, 2023. Now, you could argue that this makes sense because there's a war going on and they don't want footage on their website. But they didn't do this with Russia and Ukraine. In fact, they've never blocked a country like this before. And then you realize everyone in Palestine gets their internet from Egypt, Jordan, or Lebanon. So this only affects Israelis. Twitch has ignored Israelis' complaining about this for months. This led Dan, Destiny's co-host, to do an investigation on Twitch's anti-Semitism. And what he found was insane. Twitch's current head of trust and safety was fired from her previous job due to having too strong of opinions on Israel-Palestine. When Reddit would talk about how Israel is still blocked by Twitch a year later, her former employee would joke, "What has anyone from Israel done for Twitch?" Is it at all surprising that someone that works under her has this mentality? So between this, Sneeko Myron, a terrorist, Hasan Frogan, and the Arab tier list being streamed live from TwitchCon, people finally called a duck and labeled Twitch anti-Semitic. And it's hard to argue against it. Twitch is clearly not enforcing its TOS when it comes to comments made about veterans or Jews. I got a whole video on Sneeko. Watch it. How is this guy unbanned on Twitch? TOS clearly states that you can't show terrorist propaganda. Meanwhile, Hasan promotes it and nothing happens. He gets sung happy birthday from Twitch staff.
Happy birthday, dear Hasan.
This is crazy.
People made a website called Twitch or Terrorist where you could guess who said the quote, a Twitch streamer or an actual terrorist. America deserves 9/11. Well, terrorists did pull it off. Nope, it's Hasan. If Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, then America is the top terrorist organization. And it could go either way. Let's play it safe and say terrorist. Nope, it's Hasan again. Let's play the clip.
Oh my God, well, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. Dog, if Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, then America is the top terrorist organization, which it is, by the way. America is the top dog in terrorism, and so is Israel.
What makes a terrorist group is that they pursue their political goals by targeting the civilian population. This should not be glorified. Hasan dismisses all of that and just calls everyone racist.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, what you meant to say is Hezbollah is Muslim. Okay? That's what you meant to say. What you meant to say is they're Muslim.
No.
So of course, as they're Muslim, it's different.
Because every army actually is a terrorist organization that's Muslim. That's probably what this chatter is saying. This chatter thinks Egyptian army terrorist. Moroccan army, terrorist.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. The political bias from Twitch here is insane. How do you moderate your site as much as Twitch and then let all of this slide unless you're being anti-Semitic? So Dan started targeting Twitch's advertisers until Twitch decided to enforce their TOS evenly. Finally, Twitch started to ban people. Sneeko and Fresh and Fit were removed, and the 4 people on the tier list panel were banned temporarily. But not Hasan, and because of the stalemate, some creators have reported losing up to 80% of their ad revenue.
You know what my problem is? I'm gonna say it. I'm not even pissed off at the streamers for doing this fucking crazy shit. I'm pissed off at Twitch for allowing it to get to this point, facilitating it, allowing it, condoning it, or turning a blind eye.
To me, it seems like a no-brainer to temporarily ban them and get all of your ads back, but no, everyone has to suffer. They refuse to enforce their TOS. Either unban everyone for their edgy political opinions or start to enforce your TOS evenly.
I don't know why I feel like should I say I'm fine, but I'm not fine.
Hasan's politics have become more and more extreme over the past year. He runs the fence for terrorists who post Jewish people on spikes.
Look at the evidence he provided. I know all the evidence that he provided. I'm familiar with. Yeah, he's a Yemeni teen with a gun.
He laughs at cops getting shot.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Watch out! Are you okay?
No, you shot me!
Oh god! Are you okay?
Echo 7 1081.
And as of this year, he's doubled down. He stands by it, thinks it's hilarious.
Are you okay?
No, you shot me!
Oh god! Are you?
What the fuck? Still good. Still good. Yo, that still bangs, dude. Yo, that's funny as
He often denies and scoffs when people bring up the October 7th rapes.
Bro, what rapes did fucking Hamas do? What are you talking about?
Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel had a...
And it's fully backed by Twitch at the cost of all other creators. This video doesn't even go into the countless lies and slander he spreads about other creators. He's a coward, hiding behind his race or the dead bodies of Palestinians rather than owning up to his mistakes.
Probably just need to bite the bullets of what? Just stop covering Gaza. Stop speaking to the humanity of the victims.
And we will get to that next video. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to check out Rocket Money. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon: Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Riveter, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Drain Bex, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, Abby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Eddie Bizzle, Tiz McFitz, Christopher H, TV Anthology Reviews, Kanklemore, Cineal Music, Lucas If, ET Automatic, Snoopy Poop Doop 2, Amur ML Bay, Deep Pocket Jew, Rooney Boo, Drew is Sharing, Clown Factory, Monkey D Luffy, and the mega homies Reynolds Hughes, Hellison, IGP or Taxi, Latchkey Gothboy, Cyber Katie, Lore Reloaded, Papa Gut, Caden Lulin, BA Subway, Hawk and Load, Derek Dew, Kitty Cat, Tarok, Faye Under, John Manfreda, Trick, Lucas, Katie Huck, Leviathan, Panic Pun, and JPEG.